Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. Topping our newscast tonight, the St. Croix District Board of Elections met for their regular meeting Wednesday to iron out the details of the primary election. Board members tackled a number of issues, including early voting and ballots, but they're confident they can get through the primary. News 2's Erica Parsons has the story.
Potential voters poured into the elections office ahead of the July 2nd deadline to register to vote in the August 2nd primary. Elections officials are also getting ready. During a 3-hour meeting Wednesday, board members talked about early voting and ballot issues, like how many ballots will be printed for the primary.
We're going to get 30% of the ballot based on 2010 historical data. After the meeting today, I will send an email to get the ballot process started. The sample ballots are going to be printed here locally, so that's not an issue. And we're doing 5% spoilage, so that'll give us, again, 35% of the registered voters.
Supervisor Fox says they've seen a steady stream of people who want to register. After tonight, they'll know exactly how many are signed up.
Last month, we registered 305 persons, voters. So we are increasing our registration.
This upcoming primary election will be a real test for the general election. It's the first time voters will use the DS200 and Automark machines, and officials are trying to anticipate any problem that might arise.
Well, there's training for the poll watchers, the poll workers, and also the election officials, because again, it's a new machine, and ES&S persons will be assisting us with that training, and the board members do also have a role to play in that process. Testing of the machine is a little different. We're first time using this machine, so we have to test each ballot in every one of the machines per person.
One board member who's been actively conducting voting machine demonstrations said people who are blind have had challenges adjusting to the machine.
I think it'd be something that we should see if they have a different device that they can hold in their hand versus reaching up to the device.
So we'll look into it. I'll contact her today to see if there's any additional device or if there's a cost. But the other one that he mentioned, the sip and puff method, is available, but the person, the voter, has to bring the sip and puff with them. And the machine is easily hooked up and can provide that services.
Officials said it took 19 edits to get the ballots just right, but now that that hurdle is over, they're prepared to deal with whatever comes next. Erica Parsons, News 2.
The elections offices in both districts stayed open until 7 Wednesday to accommodate people who wanted to register to vote. The VI government recorded a huge milestone this week. The governor's office announced Tuesday that the territory's audited financial statements for fiscal year 2013 has been published and on time. Finance officials say it means full compliance with the SEC and a stronger standing in the bond market. It also places the VI in better standing with the U.S. Department of Interior.
Yesterday, June 30th, 2014, the government of the Virgin Islands, in full compliance with the requirements of the Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as the Federal Office of Management and Budget, issued its 2013 audited financial statements on time for the first time in memory. So that is something that we have worked tremendously to achieve, and it has already been very welcomed by our financial partners.
In other news, police are asking for your help. Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives on St. Croix are investigating a fatal shooting that occurred in Estate Montbijou on July 1st. Jesus Brown, 27 years of age, was shot multiple times and died the same night at the Juan Louis Hospital and Medical Center. According to the preliminary investigation, police were dispatched to a call of shots fired and a man down just before 10:30 p.m. on July 1st. Police observed the unresponsive body of the victim on the ground between two parked vehicles. Detectives said Jesus Brown was incarcerated and recently released after being sentenced in connection to a murder that occurred in 2010. This case is being actively investigated by the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives. Please call if there's any information that can assist. Well, St. John Festival events continue, and here's the musical lineup over at Smithsville. Tonight, our very own Rudy Live hits the stage. Then, Spectrum in the spotlight, and closing out the night, Bungie Garland and Faye Ann Lyons. Thursday, Emancipation Day, we've got Core Band out of Nevis, The Soldier, Michelle Montano and Patrice Roberts, along with Darrell Henry. And of course, St. John Festival events continue. The actual festival events, July 3rd, Emancipation Day celebration at 10 a.m. in the Franklin Powell Park. You can expect lots of cultural reenactments. We'll have more on that in just a second. On Friday, July 4th, it's Juve. It'll be held at sunrise at the St. John National Park. Then the festival parade kicks off at 11 a.m. Then the festival fireworks, 9 p.m. Cruz Bay Harbor. On Saturday, July 5th, there will be a festival village wrap-up. Now, as mentioned, a July 4th celebration will be held in commemoration of Emancipation Day on St. John. Lots of events in store, including performances by Flambeau Combo, political commitments, and more. Everything continues until sunset.
For too long, there's been a complete overshadowing of the emancipation theme by all the festivities that go on, and we're not killing joy at all. We want people to really enjoy themselves, but we want some introspection to take place on the emancipation. In the past, we've kind of pulled back because St. Croix is where it took place, and we've, essentially tried not to in any way steal the thunder of the group on St. Croix that celebrates the activity. But gradually, there's been sort of a bringing about of an awareness. The St. Thomas group, the group called Pan-African Support Group, have been doing something in the Emancipation Garden, and they have an elaborate program for this year. And we're hoping people on St. Thomas will, go and participate. And we're asking that those who are coming to St. John, along with the people on St. John, will really come out and enjoy and be involved in a full day of activity.
Also on St. Croix, History, Culture, and Tradition Foundation, Inc. inviting the public to their Emancipation Day celebration activities yesterday, today, and tomorrow, 2014. That's the title. This 166th commemoration of Emancipation Day, 1848, is an educational, fun-filled event for the entire family. The day's events include cultural entertainment, orators, food, drink, and craft vendors. The event begins at 3 p.m. in Frederickstead's Bottle Park. Local food and beverage vendors will be on site after the Fort to Fort walk that morning. Now, for the Fort to Fort walk, activities also include in the 13th annual Emancipation Day Fort to Fort Walk to Freedom, and that's sponsored by Senator Terrence Nelson. It begins at 5 a.m. at Fort Christiansburg in Christiansted and ends at Fort Frederick 5 to 6 hours later. From 4 to 8 in Butler Park, a program and ceremony of speeches, songs, and cultural presentations will be held. Those who participate in the 14-mile journey will have the option of walking, running, jogging, biking, and even roller skating to the Frederickstead destination. Thirst-quenching beverages and light refreshments will be served throughout the day. The annual walk is a replication of what the slaves who resided on St. Croix embarked on July 3rd, 1848, 166 years ago. They rose up to destroy the bonds and shackles of chattel slavery years before Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. As always, Senator Nelson will begin the event with a prayer and a request that everyone shake the chains of the Christiansted Fort before their hike to Frederickstead. We'll turn our attention overseas. Tropical Storm Arthur could soon become Hurricane Arthur. The giant storm is already making an impact on 4th of July vacation plans in the Carolinas. Craig Boswell is in Nags Head, North Carolina, where tourists are worried Arthur will make the holiday week.
Arthur churned up the surf and pelted the central Florida coast with heavy winds and downpours Wednesday morning. Forecasters say the storm is picking up steam and gaining power as it rumbles north. It is expected to reach hurricane force by the time it hits the Carolinas, just in time for the start of the 4th of July weekend. The Outer Banks of North Carolina could feel the worst of Arthur's punch. That's bad news for the 250,000 tourists flocking to these barrier islands for fun in the sun.
Don't put your stupid hat on. Usually most injuries occur right before a storm or right after a storm.
Rod Howie is vacationing from London and didn't expect his sand dig to be interrupted.
It's kind of unlucky, really.
Others are digging in to ride out the storm.
We're here for the week. We're not going till they kick us out.
Arthur is already interfering with Independence Day plans here in the Outer Banks. Friday's fireworks shows have been postponed until later this weekend. The National Park Service has already shut down popular campgrounds and attractions like the Hatteras Lighthouse, and powerful rip currents could keep thousands of Atlantic beachgoers out of the water for several days. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Nags Head, North Carolina.
And be sure to tune in to our News2 AccuWeather forecast later on in the newscast for more on the weather. Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, private sector job creation surged in June. Payroll processor ADP says companies added 281,000 new positions. That's more than economists had predicted. Professional and business services saw some of the biggest gains. The Federal Trade Commission is suing T-Mobile in other news, saying it scammed hundreds of millions of dollars from customers, charging fees for services subscribers never ordered, things like horoscope texts and quirky ringtones. T-Mobile says the lawsuit is unfounded and without merit. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. The Dow up 20, NASDAQ down, S&P up 1. Coming up on News 2, the governor's Technology Exploration Summer Initiative kicked off this summer. More on what they hope to teach the students. Plus, our Summer Fun segment continues. Another fun event you can add to your list. You think a mango is just a mango? Well, plan on attending this event that will prove you wrong. We'll be right back. If you thought a mango was just a mango, we'll plan to attend the Mango Millie and Fruit Festival coming up on Sunday, July 6th. Learn about so many things you can do with the fruit. Plus, if you want to eat, grow, or learn more about health benefits, this is where you need to be. There will be a display with all different types, the fabulous Mango This, Mango That food competition, a dunk tank, food and craft vendors, and live entertainment. Just a few of the events in store. It's set for noon until 6 p.m. Sunday at the St. George Village Botanical Garden. The governor's Technology Exploration Summer Initiative kicked off this summer at 3 public schools and 1 nonprofit agency offering courses in computer and internet-related technology to students in 5th through 8th grade. The initiative has been developed in conjunction with the Department of Education's 21st Century Community Learning Center grant program, which supports facilities that offer academic, artistic, and cultural coursework when schools are not in session.
We wanted to make sure that we expose the youngest in our community within our schools towards this area. So we thought the best way to do it was to supplement it with the summer activity that matches some of the work that they're doing throughout the school year. You know, right now we have more Perinthian boards, blackboards within schools than we've ever had before, whiteboards in school that we've ever had before. We have iPads, and so for the summer program, the initiative is really to focus for a period of time on 4 camps that we have in place right now. And at those camps, our students will be able to focus on photography, web design, graphic arts, robotics, development of learning apps.
The residents of Lucinda Millen Home were given a special treat on Saturday. Members of the Rotary Club of St. Thomas Sunrise stopped by bearing sweets. The elderly were treated to ice cream, cookies, and punch. There was also music for dancing and a sing-along. The All Saints choralers sang hymns for the senior citizens, while musician Olik Ladi and his mom played the accordion and a number of other percussion instruments to entertain the group. Just a quick note to our viewers, News 2 will not be aired on Friday, July 4th, but be sure to tune in for a special edition of Caribbean Passport, taking you around the Caribbean to get a taste of what's happening on the other islands. We will be back on Monday, July 6th with all the latest news, weather, and sports, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Again, there will be no newscast on Friday, July 4th. Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast and the latest on Arthur coming up next.